So this week's Monday Night Raw came to us from Las Vegas, Nevada. The first thing I noticed when we opened the show was it felt like there was quite a lot of empty seats in the arena. I'm not sure if it was, but when you kind of look at the hard cam, the row in front, the row at the back of the ring, that seemed quite thin, if you ask me as well. And the panned over, seemed quite thin. Not sure if it was, might have appeared that way, but it seemed like there was quite a lot of empty seats. Might be due to the kind of a lack of quality of Raws in the past few weeks. Hopefully this week was going to kind of stop that and be a lot better than it has been. The things we knew going into this Monday Night Raw was, one, we were going to get a championship title match between Charlotte and Bayley. Obviously, Charlotte undefeated on pay-per-view for a long time. However, she's dropped a title numerous times to Sasha Banks on Monday Night Raw, so that there was always a possibility that Bayley was going to pick up the win tonight. So that was going to be quite interesting to see. Also, we knew about the Festival of Friendship between Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, Jericho. Love everything these two do. Every promo they put together is fantastic. Every time they're in together, it's fantastic. So I was really looking forward to seeing what the Festival of Friendship was going to be about. Now, we opened the show with true Raw fashion. The Authority, or Stephanie McMahon, came down to the ring and announced that Mick Foley wasn't going to be there. Crowd seemed to boo that, even though they boo Mick Foley every week. That's the WWE universe for you. But Stephanie McMahon came down to the ring, interrupted straight away by none other than Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns never opens Raw, that's weird. Roman Reigns comes down to the ring, doesn't waste any time, says he wants Braun Strowman now, not a fast lane, he wants him right now. Stephanie McMahon says, no, that's not happening, not on my watch, panders to the crowd like usual, and tells him that if he interferes in Strowman's match against Mark Henry, then he will lose his opportunity to face Strowman at Fastlane and any opportunity he may have at WrestleMania. And now at the moment, he doesn't have any opportunities at WrestleMania, so I'm not quite sure what she was talking about, but obviously Roman Reigns does have an opportunity at something, The Undertaker, in line at WrestleMania. We'll have to wait and see. Once we've gotten that out of the way, the club interrupted, they came to the top of the ramp, pandered to Stephanie McMahon, true heel fashion, challenged Roman Reigns to a handicap match. At first I thought it was quite interesting, it was refreshing to see a different face or a different couple of faces in the opening promo. I love the club, I love what they do, I love the fact they're champions. Got put in the handicap match, why not? Roman Reigns, the face, the underdog, going against the club, outmanned. It was what it was. Again, making Reigns look strong. I didn't like that they used the club to make Reigns look strong. I feel like the club already need something more to bite down on story-wise, and I feel like just making them almost job to Reigns. Again, yeah, it made Reigns look strong going up against Strowman later on, obviously at Fastlane, but I feel like it could have been another way and not at the expense of the club, because I really like those guys together. Once we've got that out of the way, New Day came down to the ring next. Bo Dallas already in the ring, didn't get to see his entrance. What a shame. Oh well. New Day comes down to the ring, cuts a little bit of a promo. Kofi Kingston versus Bo Dallas. A little bit of an action piece between Bo Dallas and the New Day. Kofi and Big E on the outside, ripping the ice cream blueprints in half. I enjoyed that. It was good fun. It's Bo Dallas, it's the New Day. You don't really expect anything else. It was good fun. Bo back in the ring. Kofi beats him with the SOS, a move that he's very rarely beaten anyone with. Beats Bo Dallas because why not? He's Bo Dallas. You could beat him with a punch to the face. Next up, we had Cruiserweight action. We had two Cruiserweight matches tonight, so I'll talk about them both really quickly. We had Jack Gallagher, #1 contender for Neville's Cruiserweight Championship, and facing Neville at Fastlane for that title. Should be a great match, going up against Noam Dar. And then later on, we had Akira Tozawa, someone who I absolutely love and adore in the ring. I think he's great, going up against Ari Daivari. Now, my stance on the Cruiserweights, I love them, however it's really annoying that both these matches didn't even hit 5 minutes. The latter only just made 3 minutes, and that's really frustrating. Now, I understand that they have 205 Live, and the matches on Raw is kind of a showcase to make you invest and want to watch 205 Live. It's almost like a snippet or a preview of what you can get on 205 Live, but it's still really frustrating that one of the annoying things about Raw is the 3-hour runtime, and they fail to fill that space sometimes, and it gets fillers get chucked in everywhere in there that aren't really needed. They could make up this time with Cruiserweight action by making these matches at least 10 minutes long, because these guys can go for a long time. We saw that in Cruiserweight Classic, and it's a shame that these guys only get 5 minutes to show what they can do. Either way, both matches again, there's not much you can do in 5 minutes, but they did their best. Gallagher picking up the win against Noam Dar, looking strong going into Fastlane. That should be a great match between himself and Neville. We'll see how that develops on 205 Live. And then Davari and Tozawa picking up the win with the German suplex. Like I said, I love him. There's something going on with him and Brian Kendrick on commentary at the time. We'll see where that goes. But again, absolutely love Gallagher. I absolutely love Tozawa. There's so many great guys down there on 205 Live. It would be a real shame if they can't do something with it going forward. Once Sasha Naris comes in, I'm sure that'll build the division up even more. I'm excited with what they could do. I don't know what they will do, but I'm excited with what they could do, especially with the kind of rivalries they're kind of building to at the moment. We, of course, really quickly got a snippet of Emelina. She came out, announced that we'd seen the makeover of Emma to Emelina, and then we were going to see the makeover of Emelina to Emma. It was quite confusing, actually. It wasn't confusing in a good way. It wasn't confusing like, what's this? It was confusing as in, what? That doesn't make sense. And then she left, and I thought we were gonna get like a split personality kind of character where she came out on the dress and everything. She was gonna go into the back and then come out later in a ring gear, meaning business, getting down to it. Didn't see her again for the rest of the show. Not quite sure what was going on there. We'll have to wait and see. She's probably still injured. We probably won't see her actually in action for another 3 years. Who knows? But yeah, Emelina, fantastic work. Keep it up. We also saw something very interesting, something I was absolutely thrilled to see, and that was a backstage snippet between Triple H and Kevin Owens. Now, the reason I've been looking forward to this for a long time is because since the Fatal 4-Way match, of course, when Triple H helped Kevin Owens win the Universal title, they focused on it as if it's... The only thing they built on that is Triple H versus Seth Rollins because he screwed him over. But after that match, Triple H stayed in the ring. He held Kevin Owens' hand up as if it was about Kevin, not about Seth Rollins. So it's been really frustrating for a while that we've had no build and no development on Triple H and Kevin Owens. Finally, this week, we got a little snippet of what could be happening. Triple H saying he wanted to speak to Kevin Owens, then we saw them talking for a little bit. And it's like I said, it's great to finally see something happening between those two, which I'm looking forward to seeing what that develops into. But yeah, it was just a snippet. Didn't get much. You didn't hear anything they were saying, but it was great to see a development on that front. Following on from that, we got a fantastic match. It was Braun Strowman versus Mark Henry. I get the big guys, and they need spots on the card. I'm not a fan. It was like watching a 400-pound drunk man that should have gone home 4 hours ago, starting on the bouncer who can't be bothered because he's been working for 8 hours. Until the bouncer pulls out a dropkick, a running dropkick, no less. That was great from Braun Strowman, the running dropkick. I enjoyed that. Braun Strowman picking up the win. Now, I'm not a fan of Mark Henry. I don't mind them using him to almost job to Braun Strowman, making him look strong. I don't mind that. I don't think Mark Henry's got much left in the tank. I might be wrong, but I don't think he's going to have another huge run. So I don't mind him coming out and making guys like Braun Strowman look super strong, especially going into a match against Fastlane, against the number one guy, Roman Reigns, who can't lose clean because he's Roman Reigns. It was great to see. Obviously, Reigns then coming down to the ring, trying to interfere. Once the bell had rung, coming down to the ring, trying to attack Braun Strowman. Didn't go too well. Strowman hitting him with the body slam. Again, Strowman looking very, very strong in that match. Hopefully we'll make that match a lot more interesting to watch, because at the moment it's an okay match. Looking forward to it a little bit, but not a great deal. So building up Braun Strowman as he's undefeatable, you know what? It probably just means that he's just going to get demolished by Roman Reigns at Fastlane, because it's Raw. No one ever beats Roman Reigns. We'll see. We then saw an interview between Samoa Joe and Michael Cole backstage. Now, I'd have liked this to open the show. Obviously, we're very used to seeing Steph and Mick and Roman and Rollins and KO open the show. I think it'd be quite interesting with this new take and this new character that's suddenly kind of barged into Raw and injured their top guy, or one of the top guys. It would be interesting to start the show with this interview live in the ring with Michael Cole and Samoa Joe. didn't do that. We got it backstage anyway. It was still a great interview. I love the character that Samoa Joe brings. Love his intensity that he brings. His kind of down to earth attitude that he brings. Dropping names like obviously the quip against Sami Zayn, which developed further in the show. One thing he did say, not quite sure, but he said HBK needed, or Shawn Michaels needed Triple H to prop him up. Not quite sure that's entirely true, but he said it anyway, along with names like Batista and Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, that they all needed Triple H to prop them up, which he doesn't need. Should have left HBK out of that conversation, I think. But it was still a great interview and led on to obviously the match we had shortly after with Sami Zayn and Rusev. Sami Zayn picking up the win, fantastic win, great match. Won clean, getting the haluva kick out of nowhere as Rusev climbed into the ring, hits the haluva kick, gets the 1-2-3. Great win for Sami Zayn. It's great to see him finally getting clean wins on Raw, going into a possible match against Chris Jericho for the United States title at Fastlane. Hope we see that, and I hope Sami Zayn wins. My personal hopes is that Lesnar interrupts the match at Fastlane between Owens and Goldberg, stops Goldberg winning. Sami Zayn beats Jericho for the United States title, and then we see Jericho versus KO at Mania for the Universal title. That would be fantastic. But got the match. Sami Zayn going up to the top of the ramp, getting interviewed by Charlie and talking about Samoa Joe making that quip against him in the interview. Samoa Joe's music then hits. Does he come out? No, he doesn't. He's Samoa Joe. He's a heel. He comes from the side, attacks Sami Zayn, throws him into the video, into the wall, the thing. He throws him into the thing with the lights on. Beats him down, gets a Kikita clutch in on the top of the ramp, knocks him out. Looks strong as hell. He's still wearing his suit. Doesn't give a damn. Still wearing his suit. Knocks out Sami Zayn, leaves him on the ramp, and gets the hell out of there, looking strong again. I'd love to see that match, Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. If they're going down a road of that kind of rivalry, I'm down for that. I'm more than happy to see that rivalry. That'd be absolutely fantastic, especially with the dynamic of what's happening with Seth Rollins now. That'd be great to see. We then, of course, got the best part of the night, in my opinion. There's a reason it's not the main event, but there's a reason the main event's not my favourite part. We'll get to that. But my favourite part of the night, the Festival of Friendship, started off fantastically. Chris Jericho coming out onto the apron with all the women and all their stuff, celebrating, the music going. Chris Jericho comes out in the hat and the coat. Brilliant, selling it as always. Kevin Owens comes out and stands at the top of the apron. Like, what the hell are you doing, Chris Jericho? This is stupid. But nobody cared. Bring down to the ring anyway. Chris Jericho showing the sculpture, the painting, the creation of KO. Absolutely fantastic stuff, as always, from Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. We got to see Gillberg, which was fantastic. Kevin Owens beating him down straight away, not wasting any time. Gets back in the ring, announces that he's got a present for Chris Jericho himself. Now, this segment from here on outwards was brilliant. I'd never envisioned the breakup of Jericho and KO so soon. We knew it was going into Mania and it was going to happen at some point, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon. It might have been in relation to what got said between Triple H and Kevin Owens, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Kevin Owens giving him the present. He opens the present. It's a new list. He's thrilled. He pulls it out, and then he says, and you could feel the crowd as well. He says, "Why's my name on here?" And then the crowd kind of went, "Oh," and it was brilliant. Lifted up the list, and it was the list of KO. And then you kind of got a shot of Kevin Owens. He was like, "Yeah, sorry." Puts the microphone down, puts the belt down, goes on the attack, beats down Chris Jericho, powerbombs him on the apron, throws him into the monitor, destroys all the sculpture and the painting. It was the brilliant breakup of Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, something we waited for a long, long time. I think with the way that Raw's been going, we weren't sure if they'd be able to pull off a great breakup for these two, but hell, they did. It was fantastic. It was the perfect way to do it, especially under the title of the Festival of Friendship. It was fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to Raw next week to see how Jericho responds, see what happens from here. And now we've got that dynamic of KO doesn't have Chris Jericho at Fastlane to back him up. So if Lesnar doesn't come out, Don't want to say it, but we'll wait and see. Got a little bit of action before the main event of Enzo versus Cesaro. Not quite sure why we needed that. Both faces, apparently it was, according to Michael Cole, it was jockeying for position in the title race. Fair enough, I guess. It was an okay match. Cesaro won with the flying uppercut, make Enzo look weak as hell, as he always does. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was. Yeah. On to the main event next, and it's a match we'd all waited for. It was a women's championship. Charlotte defending against Bayley. Now we saw this at the Royal Rumble. Charlotte winning clean. So it was definitely going to be a competitive match. Definitely going to be a lot of emotion in the match. Now overall, the match was fun. That was great. Didn't think, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but I didn't think it was as good as when we saw Sasha versus Charlotte at Raw, when Sasha won the belt numerous times. I'm not sure why. It didn't feel as emotional. I didn't feel as invested in this match as I did Sasha Charlotte. That being said, it was still a fantastic match. There was still back and forth. The slap from Bayley, great storytelling, great character work, kind of saying, you know what, I am the happy-go-lucky girl, I am the hugger, but get in my face, push me down, and I will come back, I'll slap you in the damn face. Perfect. Loved it. Going to the outside a couple of times, the moonsault from the barrier onto Bayley was fantastic, back in the ring. Dana obviously comes down. When Dana came down, I kind of went, oh my god, they're really doing this. Okay, so Dana interrupts, breaks up Bayley's figure four, which was fantastic. And then Sasha comes down and interrupts Charlotte, which was very interesting because obviously Sasha's a face, Bayley's a face. She interrupts Charlotte, hits her with the crutch. Bayley hits the Bayley to belly, or belly to Bayley, one of the two. Hits her finishing move, gets the 1-2-3 off the back of an interruption. Now obviously she's the face, don't usually see that, I think, but I think it's a great dynamic. I think it's a fantastic dynamic between the women's division on Raw. The face got the win with an interruption. It was kind of like a taste of Charlotte's own medicine almost. She still got the huge pop. Sasha still got a huge pop. It was fantastic to see. Obviously it was kind of a bit bittersweet for me personally because we kind of knew the whole pay-per-view thing with Charlotte and that she keeps losing it on Raw every time she defends it on Raw. It's kind of very obvious. She'll probably win it back on Fastlane when she gets a rematch, then lose it on the road to WrestleMania, and then get it back at WrestleMania. But it was a great match. It was a fantastic match. It was a great win. It was a great end. But it was expected. It was one of the things where we expected Bayley to win and wanted Bayley to win, but didn't want to see it happen for some reason. No wrestling fan, unless they really want something, never wants to see something predictable happen. A week before, or 2 weeks before the Royal Rumble, Orton wasn't the favourite, and everyone would have paid money to see Randy Orton win the Royal Rumble. A week before, all of a sudden his odds shut up, everyone then expected Randy Orton to win, and all of a sudden, nobody wanted Randy Orton to win. It's one of those things where the fans want to see something unexpected. It's why I love the Festival of Friendship angle so much, simply because I personally didn't see the breakup coming this soon at all. I thought it was fantastic. I thought we'd see cracks, but I thought it didn't happen altogether, that go down that way, so it was great to see. This main event, on the other hand, we kind of expected a Bayley win and wanted a Bayley win, but just wanted it in a different way. Now I'm hoping that Bayley goes all the way to Mania with the title and it's a one-on-one between her and Charlotte so we can build that feud a little bit more. I'm not sure what to do with Sasha, Nia, Dana, Emelina, the rest of the division on Raw, but I think it'd be great if Bayley goes into Mania with the title against Charlotte so we have that new dynamic of Charlotte now has to win at the pay-per-view because she's now the challenger. I think that would be a great angle to use as opposed to Charlotte going in with the title and having to defend it again at a pay-per-view, at the pay-per-view against Bayley. It would create a different dynamic. I think it'd be great to see, but let's see where it goes. Guys, overall, is finally taking a step in the right direction. There was definitely ups, there was definitely downs. Some things were definitely done better. Maybe switching around the card a little bit. Different opening promo. We need something fresh for the opening promo. But overall, we've got a new women's champion, expected or not. It was a great thing to see. The breakup of Jericho finally happened, and it's going to be fantastic to see where that goes. We've got Samoa Joe still building, maybe going to a little mini rivalry against Sami Zayn. That's going to be fantastic to see where that goes. Overall, it was a great show. I really enjoyed this week's Raw, and finally, it's made me want to wait and see the next Raw, which I haven't wanted to see in a long time. For a long time, I've not been that bothered about watching Raw. I've often watched it late and not on time. But I'm finally wanting to see Raw next week. I might even watch it live. Obviously, I'm in the UK, 1 o'clock in the morning. Who cares? I want to see what happens with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Guys, thanks for watching again. This review of Raw. Tomorrow we'll get the review of SmackDown up, SmackDown Live. Obviously, it's going to see what happens, the dynamic between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, see how that develops. It's going to be a very interesting show to see. There's a lot of rumours from SmackDown going into WrestleMania, who AJ Styles might face, who different superstars might be facing at WrestleMania, and how they're going to develop going forward on the road to WrestleMania. So I'm going to be reviewing that for you guys. Again, like I said, thanks for watching. If you liked it, subscribe. Drop a comment if you disagree with anything, or agree with anything, have anything to say. Pop it in the comments, subscribe, like, share, do all that sort of stuff. Thanks, guys.